Hi, I'm Margaret. Do you know that you're a spiritual being that's having a human experience? All of you, all of you are spiritual beings at the core. And we have two sides to our mind to work with our spiritual side as well as our human side. Because here we've been born into a physical body to learn lessons here on earth. And we needed a mind that would be able to function in this environment that we live in here. So I wanted to look at the differences between the rational mind and the intuitive mind and how they work together. On our human side, we've been given the gift of a rational mind, our linear, intellectual left brain. And it was created to work through this, which makes a lot of sense in the environment that we live in. It has access to the knowledge that man has discovered. And it works within a timeline of past, present, and future. Our cultural training has trained us well to use the rational mind and has trained us to look outside of ourselves for books, teachers, videos, digital information to find out what it is we need to know. Now, the other side of us, our spiritual side, was gifted with the intuitive mind. Einstein has something interesting to say about that. He says, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We've created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. That's kind of a radical statement considering how our society has worked. So let's look at the capabilities of the intuitive mind. Unfortunately, in our cultures, we've been trained to distrust it and to dismiss it, and we've never been trained how to use it the way we've been trained to use our rational minds. So let's see what its capabilities are. Well, first of all, it's an internal guidance system. We can ask any question of our intuition once we know how to access it and ask effective questions, and we will have an answer. It will also show us our next best step and always points us toward opportunity. It comes from the superconscious itself and has access to all knowledge. It has no physical boundaries. We can know something of somebody 1,000 miles away as well as next door. And there are no boundaries to knowing the things we need to know. It penetrates into things. It can know the past, the present, and the future because it operates at the quantum level of creation, or where the eternal now exists. This is in contrast to the rational mind, which operates in Newton's world, where everything appears separate and there is that timeline. People have tended to dismiss it because it seems random, and until you have a training in how to use it, it can often appear that way. But once you practice and learn how to access it, then you can access your intuition on demand. And it will give you a guidance system that will take you to your full potential. People like Einstein and Steve Jobs and Oprah, people who've really developed who they are, have all honored and accessed the intuition. Now let's look at how it works in everyday life. Let's say you want to build a house. And so you hire an architect. And let's just say for fun that you hired Frank Lloyd Wright. Well, Frank Lloyd Wright had a vision of what a house should be like, just like any architect would. And that vision, that inspiration, that creativity comes from the intuition itself. It doesn't come from the rational mind. It's receptive. Once the vision is there of what the house should be like, then the rational mind goes to work and creates the blueprints, which will allow that house to come into materiality and be actualized. So these are the two ways that the intuition and the rational mind work together. As Steve Jobs says, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. They somehow know what you want to become. Once you learn to access it, you'll have an infallible internal guide that will have the answer to any question. But you must learn how to recognize it, follow its voice, pay attention, and take action on what you hear. So in summary today, we talked about our spiritual and our human sides and the different parts of our mind that work with each part of ourselves. Our human side uses the rational mind, which is active, linear, intellectual, and lively. The intuitive side uses the intuitive mind, the right mind, which is silent, creative, inspirational, visionary. And the rational mind operates from Newton's world, which is our world of 3 dimensions. The intuitive mind operates from the quantum level, or the level of the eternal now. Once you learn to use the intuitive mind, which takes practice to recognize its voice and ask effective questions, then you have a guide that can take you to your full potential. Since this is my second effort at creating a video, I hope I'm doing it all right this time, and I'll see you in a month.